Are you going to do you this year, 2023? I have a question. What about doing the new you, the better you? I feel like that phrase, do you, is a call to accepting yourself and being authentic to the true you and who you are, not allowing other people's opinions of you determine what you're going to do or how you're going to act or what you're going to become. But a lot of times that phrase can be an excuse that keeps you from disciplining yourself in certain areas and allowing yourself to grow into a better version of who you are and fulfilling your purpose. God's been really speaking to me lately through my pastor, Pastor Jabin Chavez from City Light here in Las Vegas, and Stephen Furtick and T.D. Jakes and just different preachers. And the common message is intimacy and prayer and fasting. And not everybody understands the dynamics of that. It's kind of Christianese to some. It's a language they don't know. But the truth is there is a God who created us, a God who created the trees, a God who created the world, and gave us the power and the free will and the choice to mold ourselves and become and create out of what he's given us. And I feel like sometimes that little simple thing of prayer is not put first in my life, if I'm completely honest. Now, I'll push play on YouTube and listen to the preachers. And that's not bad because it's feeding me. It's feeding me good things. It's keeping my mind right. God speaks to me through that. And I'm so blessed that I hear God a lot of times, considering I haven't disciplined myself like I would in the gym to start my day, not pushing play, but sitting quiet and praying. And, I've heard the things in the Bible about, being a servant of God or being a friend of God. And I believe intimacy is required to be friends with God. And the only way to have that intimacy is to actually talk to God. And not just on the go or randomly or when we're hurting and we need something, but to share thoughts and communicate with God in an intimate way. And sometimes I get discouraged because I feel like, I have a purpose, I have a calling, there's things I should do, but there's all these little things that stall me and keep me from going there. And the confusion I get sometimes is only an indicator that I'm not connected to God, because it's not really about me or my strength, or I don't even have to know how or why or when or what am I supposed to do? Is that really what I'm supposed to do? And all that question is only an indicator that I'm disconnected. And when you're walking in an intimate friendship with God, he reveals to your heart the plans, and you're let in on the strategies and the directions, and you're living in a place of certainty and peace and faith and joy, even when all the things around you indicate that there's storms and problems. And even though I know these things, and I've heard sermons and I've heard motivational speakers talk about all the things you need to do to be successful and all the strategies to overcome certain things in your life, but the bottom line is that intimate connection of prayer. And it's not substituted by listening to preachers or going to church, although those things are huge, because it actually feeds you this new hunger and a desire to seek your intimate place with God. And Jesus came to save us, but also to use us. He came to deliver us from sin and death, but he also gave us so many different hints and strategies and principles to live by in order to be our better self. And sometimes our own view on ourselves is so limited and deflated because of past experiences. And honestly, it's the past that we live off of most of the time. So our belief actually hinders us. And the only way you can change the trajectory of your beliefs is by replacing it with new truth and having a discipline and making a choice, because you're never going to want to do anything. You're never going to want to see the change. A lot of times people want the result, but it's so uncomfortable starting the new change that we give up and we don't operate in faithfulness and discipline. And I mean, at one point I was 350 pounds, and there was a point where I just decided I'm going to stop worrying about the results of my weight loss. I'm just going to be disciplined and show up. And over time, man, it's crazy, over 200 pounds. And it's the same strategy and everything. And I don't care how successful you are, or how close with the Lord you are, or how well your relationships are going, or your money situation is going. There's always areas in our life where we can grow. And we have a human need to feel progress in our lives. So I think it's time this year to go back to the basics of prayer and intimacy, and then surround yourself with people and audios and events and things in our life that give us that hunger, because the hunger can be sucked out of you in a matter of a week, just like at Christmas, on holidays we get out of shape and it's so much harder to get back in. But once you get the ball rolling, the momentum takes over, things start working out. Anyway, I'm seriously really hungry for this right now, and I'm noticing it's because I plugged into a church and committed to it, and I'm starting to serve, and there's always going to be weird people, or evil people, or hypocritical people in any church you go to. But it really doesn't matter, because that's not how God looks at it. God knows we're imperfect. The whole point is family and love and acceptance, and just seeking God and seeing them the way God sees them, and not having a critical spirit, and just looking into yourself about what you can do to grow and how you can love people. And again, you don't have to know your 100% purpose or calling, but you are called to love. So bottom line is pray. Pray and just love people. And as you do that, you'll start seeing changes in your strength and in your own mindset. And all those things start happening and unfolding on their own, and you don't even have to worry about what it is you're supposed to be doing, or what direction to go, or why you're still single now, like me, like Joy is, at 45 years old. Who cares? I have to pray, and not just on the go, and not just push play on a preacher in the morning. I need to actually sit with God and talk to him. And it seems so easy and so simple, but you know how it goes when you wake up. I am not a morning person, and part of that's because I've conditioned myself by many, many years of staying up too late. And I have a belief that I'm a night person, not a morning person, but that's just conditioning. It's not true. So now that recognition is there, I can make some subtle changes, big changes actually, and just make a choice and be faithful to it. Anyway, I encourage you all to take this as an encouragement, not a discouragement, to just start praying and learning how to be intimate, and being a friend of God will open up things in your life that you never thought possible. And you'll see things happen for me too. Love you all.